Thank you for tuning in to the Life of KG podcast. We are all about helping you guys in the beauty industry. Whether you're starting out in this industry or been in the business for years, we want to motivate you, educate you, and support you to grow. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to A Life of KG. Today, I get to interview Jennifer Louise. Jennifer is so inspirational. I have been dying to get her on the show and to be able to teach you guys things that will inspire you and motivate you to push your businesses even further. She is a multi-award winning public speaker or author. She's an inspirational change leader, CEO of Obsessions Salon, and founder of the Successful Salon Club. So without further ado, here she is. So Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on the Life of KG. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. It's Monday, which is my favourite day, so I'm super pumped for that. I'm really well.
Oh, good. So for those that are listening that might not have heard of you, please can you introduce yourself and just let us know what you do?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me already, my name is Jennifer Louise. I'm the salon success coach. So I'm the I'm not the co-founder, I'm the founder of the Successful Salon Club. I'm the co-founder of Level Up Business Academy, and I have a salon. So I still have a working functioning salon, which I think is really, really cool. And yeah, author, international #1 best-selling author in 6 different countries, award-winning public speaker. There's lots and lots and lots of strings to my bow, but ultimately I'm Jennifer Louise, mum of 2 children.
Oh, how old are your children?
So my son, I call them kids, like they're not really. My son's he's called man child because he literally is 21 years old. So he is an adult now, but he's still my little baby boy. And my daughter's 13.
Oh, wow. How's it been running businesses alongside family?
Guilt. So for those mums out there, you're going to know what I'm talking about there. Like that guilt, that balancing that guilt. So if I'm working on the business, I'm guilty that I'm not spending time with my kids. If I'm spending time with my kids, I'm feeling guilty that I'm not working in the businesses. There's a lot of guilt that surrounds it. And I do feel like, I mean, Ellie was 3 weeks old when I went back to work. So I feel like I have missed out a lot. But at the same point, I have raised 2 incredible humans with really, really amazing entrepreneurial brains. And so I can kind of lessen that guilt a little bit, because when I see what they're out there creating and what they're doing now as mini adults, it's just inspiring. So I kind of pat myself on the back as well as think, oh, I've missed a bit.
Definitely. And I'm exactly the same. It's guilt with my little one as well. But then I see what she's becoming and her strength and her independence at 5 years old. And I'm like, I done that.
Absolutely. And it just gets better and better and better. Like Ellie she's part of the decisions team in the salon. So any decisions that are made are run through her as well as the management team, because I want to raise children that make great decisions, that understand that there's consequences, that understand that you have to look at all the factors, that understand if you make a wrong decision, you know, it could really mess something up, but there's a great learning lesson from that. And allowing them to fail and learn to fail and learn to make those decisions is so key to raising great humans. It's just, yeah, it's phenomenal watching their journey.
That's incredible. So your salon, is it mainly hair based, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't have any beauty in there. I would love a nail technician in there, but I can't find one that's really, really amazing. So there's an amazing girl that works at the top of our road, and I'm very much like, I have my nails done by her. She's phenomenal. And if I can't find somebody that can produce the work to that standard, then I would rather my clients went to the girl up the road because she's the best. Does that make sense? So
yeah, definitely. I'm
very much like, unless I find the right person, and of course the right person would be her to come and work for us. But she owns her own salon. So, but yeah, just
that's cool. So Jennifer, let's go right back. What is your story? Like, we've all got a story. We love a bit of storytelling on this podcast. But so what is your story and why did you get into business?
Oh, okay. So let's go back to my childhood. I am dyslexic. So for a very long time, I thought I couldn't be successful because I couldn't spell the word success. I struggled with school, and I just couldn't articulate lessons. Like, nothing would go in. And so I fell in with the wrong crowd, who were a lot older than me, that were just like, they were naughty kids. And so I would rock up at school, I'd go and get ticked off the register and form, and then I would just literally get my bag and go down to the bottom of the field and spend the whole school day down there joking around with my mates, not attending any lessons, drinking vodka, being just really wasting my life. And one day, I don't know why, but I just woke up one day and just thought, I can't do this for the rest of my life, because I am never going to be anything. And I think that came from all the teachers saying to me, you're never going to be any good, you're never going to do anything. And we can all relate to that, right? We've all had somebody in our life that says, you're never going to achieve, you're never going to do it. And I was like, no, do you know what? I can, because I've got passion and I've got goals and I want to achieve. So that next day, I decided, I was 14 at the time, I decided that I was going to go and get myself a Saturday job. And my dad said, no, I couldn't have one. So I thought, well, who are you to stop me from achieving my goals? Like, I want a new pair of trainers and you are not going to stop me getting these trainers because all the other kids have and we're poor and I don't. So I told him I was taking my sister out for a walk, and I literally spent the whole day going in every single business in the whole of the town and dragging this poor little girl behind me going, no, I'll buy you some sweets at the end, just one more shop, one more shop. At the end of that day, I got 2 job offers, and one was chambermaiding in a hotel, which I thought was going to be serious hard work. And the other one was in a salon, which I thought was going to be seriously easy work. How wrong was I? So I took the salon job, and that kind of gave me a vision and a future. Then I kind of thought, okay, well, I quite like doing this Saturday girl stuff. This is quite fun. So maybe I could work full-time in a salon. And since I'm that entrepreneurial mindset and I wasn't attending class, I thought, well, no one's going to miss me if I don't go to school. So I told the lady that I was 16 and that that I wasn't at school anymore and that I was looking for an apprenticeship.
Oh my God.
And so she enrolled me at the local college next door to my school. Like, seriously. So I had to get on the bus and go to school every morning. Although I wasn't going to school, I was going to college. And oh my God, how I didn't get found out, I don't know. But I managed to do that for an entire year and the school was terrible. When my year group ended, it got shut down. It was set on fire multiple times. It was just a really, really bad school that I went to. So then all of a sudden, there was a fire drill and the teachers were like checking who was there. And my friends had just been shouting my name out in class because we always had like teachers that didn't even work at the school. So nobody realised. And then they did a head count because of the fire drill and Jen wasn't there. And so then I got found out. They phoned my parents. My mum followed me to school the next day. However, it was my day to work in the salon. And I remember the door opening and her just standing there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm literally dead. She's going to kill me. And she booked an appointment. I had to shampoo her hair. She never said a word to me. Silence is killing me. She's going to literally wring my neck in front of everybody. And as she left, she just really coldly turned to me and said, I suggest you get home. We need to talk. So I had to leave the business and go and have this conversation with my mum. Oh. I got forced back into mainstream school. That teacher in the new school, because I decided to go to a new school because there was no point in going, but I was just going to end up back down the field again drinking vodka. And the new headmaster was amazing. He allowed me to continue doing my apprenticeship alongside my GCSEs. So I just fell into it, basically.
Oh my gosh, what a story.
I know. And my kids know all about it as well, which is just like, oh.
Okay, so you've done your apprenticeship. You obviously passed the apprenticeship. Then what happened?
Yeah, so then that salon, so she sold it and I ended up going to work for another boss in another salon, who had a really bad split personality problem. Like she was two people. She'd been so amazing and caring and loving and supporting, and then she'd go off to do something and come back and she would just be screaming and shouting and nasty and horrible. And so I quit hairdressing for a while. I thought I hated hairdressing, but actually what I didn't realise was I just hated working for this lady, because I never knew where I stood and she was just killing my creativity. And then I went and trained as a doorwoman. So I was a doorwoman at the local nightclub for a few years, until my then partner at the time, the father of my children, was like, this is not working, you can't work on the door, it's like you're working till 5 a.m, it's killing the family, you need to go back into hairdressing, and pushed me back. And at that point I was really resentful, because I didn't want to go back into hairdressing. I was having the time of my life working on the door, having so much fun, and I'd missed so many years of hairdressing that I didn't feel that I was good enough anymore. So I retrained, worked in a salon that was then put up for sale, and I bought it.
Oh wow, so you bought the salon that you was working in?
Yeah, I did.
That's incredible.
It was slightly annoying, because actually there was only me and another guy that was working there, so I paid for myself and somebody else, but we were trying so hard to get a different premises, and we got gazumped 3 times and lost so much money with solicitors. And in the end it was just the easiest thing to do, just have my money, give me the shop and me that I was paying for. And yeah.
Wow. So is that still the salon you have now, still the same premises?
No, we've moved premises. So we've moved 2 doors up to double. We outgrew that salon quite quickly. And it was embarrassing. Like, we didn't have anywhere to sit anybody because we were just so busy. So the salon 2 doors up the road came up. And so we moved literally in a weekend. It came up and I'd always had my eye on it. It's beautiful and I wanted it. And as soon as it came up, I was like, I have it, I'm moving out. And yeah, we just literally closed on the Friday night. Saturday night, I told the team, by the way, when we open up on Tuesday, we're going to be up the road. And everyone was like, what? And that weekend, we just shifted everything up and grew into the new premises, which we are now having exactly the same problem in. So
really? Well, it's not a bad problem, is it, to have? Do you still work on the floor or not?
I don't cut hair anymore. I stopped that about 5 years ago now, but just before the pandemic, my reservationist, who had worked for me for 12 years, coming on 13 years, she had some real personal life challenges and needed to just stop working, which as a friend totally supported her on that. As a business owner, it was a massive opportunity for me to not just react and hand that position over, but to fully embrace going into that position and learning, did we do stuff in that position because that's how Nikki had done it for 12 years? Or were we running the business with what we needed to run the business? Were we making the right decision? Were the systems and processes that were in place back when Nikki had it still useful now? Or did we need to shuffle some things around? And actually, good old Jen, as I always do, went and pressed the hard reset button in the reservations area, blew the business up. Again, my team was so good at just dealing with me. And we restructured the entire processes and systems at reservations, and the business is booming. So yeah, definitely I'm there every day. I love being in that role at reservations, because you can literally, it's like driving a spaceship or a ship or a car. You're like at the hub of everything that's happening, and you can just see the business in a completely different light. And it's what I coach this a lot inside the Successful Salon Club, because a lot of my salon owners that join that club are wanting to exit the business. They're wanting to grow so that they can exit out and take themselves off the shop floor. And so what we do is we switch them out from like just 1 day a week, and then 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week, and we take them off the shop floor and into the reservations position. And my God, you're steering a completely different ship when it's you, because nobody rebooks like you. Nobody books in perfectly like you. Nobody gets like the dashboard, like you get it inside your own business. So it's a really strong position to be, and it's lush just watching all the businesses really grow just by pulling the owner into that position.
Definitely, I love that. And it takes a lot for a salon owner to step off the salon floor. It's what obviously we both coach, and it's incredible to watch them have that coming off the floor and then having more control over their business and just growing it and having some freedom within their business as well, not having to do everything.
Absolutely. It's quite funny because now I'm at the opposite end of that. So I've spent a year in that position, albeit we was only open 5 months really. When you think about the pandemic and how that's kind of kept us open close. And I'm now at the position where, okay, now I need to hand this over. I've done my work, I've got the systems and processes really tight. So now the next step is we're going to be pulling somebody into that position. We're hiring. I've driven out the talent map last week for what that person needs to look like, because they need to think and act like me, right? I'm sacking myself out of the business, but I need to replace me with another me. There's no point in replacing me with somebody that isn't goal driven, that isn't driven at looking at dashboards and understanding what all of that means inside of a business. So they will be working with me, not touching anything for 12 weeks, literally just like when we start our apprentices off, when they learn to cut hair, right? Why do we not do that for reservations? Why do we just hand it over and leave them to it? Because that just drives the business down, not up. Yeah. So that's where we're at the moment. I'm now sacking myself out in 12 weeks time.
How excited. So have you found someone to replace you now then? And now, you're still recruiting.
Yeah. We've driven the talent map out. I know exactly what it is and who we need, and looking at my disc profile, I'm an IS, so I need to hire an IS. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know what a disc profile is, it's literally a profiling system to understand where your strengths and weaknesses are in how you work and how you are motivated, let's say. And so I need to find somebody that's exactly the same as me, because that role is just so important to drive the business.
Definitely. Really good thing to look at for sure. So those that obviously look up to those that have been in business for a long period of time, I'm sure there's many of people out there that look at you and go, wow, she's so successful. Like everything looks so hunky-dory from the outside. We all know as business owners, there is highs and there's lows. What lows have you had or struggles have you had through your career where you thought, I just can't do this anymore, or you've had to really fight through?
Yeah, so there's been loads. I'm not going to lie to you. We all have highs and lows, right? But as long as we learn from those lows, then they're not really lows at all. They're lessons, and I like to look at them as that. I always, if there's something going wrong in the business, it's okay. Stop, pause. What's going wrong? Like just the other week, and I'll tell you in a second about a really big low that I hit, because I think it's really important for everybody to learn from my mistakes there. But just last week, we had a challenge in the business. I've really blown the business up, and I did it really we've changed the way that we charge inside the salon. So we've always charged price per hour. Okay, so my team get that, but we communicate highlights, balayage to the client, because we didn't feel that at that point it was the right time to educate them on the change. We've just done it and kind of still communicated with them how they want to be communicated with, or how I thought. Coming back out of the pandemic, it was like, right, okay, we're communicating in a different way. We are a different business. We do things differently to anyone else in this town. And we've won Best Salon in Kent and Best Customer Experience in Kent 2 years in a row now. So we're doing something right. It's time to step into that, I think, now. So communication was terrible on my part, because I felt, the team know we've been doing this for 3 years. We've been charging price per hour. They know that, but the change wasn't really communicated well enough with the clients. Okay, so we're always making mistakes, but the fact that I realized, we'd had a couple of people come back and say, I didn't realize I was going to be charged that much money? Why has it gone up that much? Meant that I could really stop and go, rather than get offended, oh my God, we've had a complaint, somebody's phoned up and said they didn't think that they should have paid that much money. Looking at it differently and thinking, okay, so what's gone wrong here? What can I learn from, and how can I strengthen the business is so powerful. And it enabled me to pull a quick meeting with the team, say, okay, hands up guys, I haven't communicated with you how I want this to go. I've just kind of expected you all to know. My deepest apologies, but do you know what? The price transparency is so important inside of this business. I don't want you touching anyone's hair until they know exactly how much it's going to cost. And so looking at the reservations, you know, part of that was reservations' fault, and I'm in reservations, right? Because that wasn't communicated coming back out of lockdown. You know, we do things differently here now. You haven't been to us for a couple of years. And so you wouldn't have realized that there's been a price increase or two, but now we don't even operate that way. We operate price per hour. So learning, I'm always learning, always learning. But the big thing I want to tell you about is when I nearly lost the business.
Oh yeah.
I nearly went bankrupt, nearly lost it all. So I realized that we wasn't earning enough. We wasn't, I've been in business 10 years, and I'm like, surely by now, most people have gone out of business at this point, right? So I'm doing something right. Why am I not earning the money that I want to earn? And a lot of you salon owners listening to this are going to really resonate here. I wanted to earn more money. I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to buy nice things. And all I was doing was literally on a hamster wheel where the same income was coming in and it was never enough. You know, we wasn't growing. We weren't really dying, but we definitely wasn't growing. And I just felt like I've got these goals and dreams and aspirations, and there is no way I'm ever going to make them because I don't have the answers to the questions and I don't have anyone to ask. So I pulled in a business guru who was growing a local golf course, which looked amazing from the outside, didn't understand my business whatsoever, and implemented something which ultimately nearly cost me everything, which was this stupid discount scheme. I do not do discounts in my business ever now. I've been burnt so badly. And all of the discounts came in at Christmas. He hadn't factored that if you're putting this in at once to every single client across the board, then they're all going to want their output at the same time. And that output would be Christmas.
No.
Yeah. And back then, January for us was dead. So we had to make January's money in Christmas. So we were facing a situation where every single person that came into the business had a 50% off.
Oh no.
And in January, when I got a VAT bill, a tax bill, when I pay my wages every 4 weeks, we have 2 wage bills in January. I couldn't pay my team, I couldn't pay my VAT, I couldn't pay my tax, I couldn't pay my bills. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do here? So I remember sitting out on the salon floor and just looking around and thinking, do you know what? Everybody in the chair is here because of the discount. They've not got the money that I need them to be spending inside of this business. And I remember thinking, you know, thank you, God, for first of all giving me the answer, but waiting until I'm about to lose my business to give it to me was the most unhelpful lesson I could have been given ever. Thanks a lot. And I got so upset. And then as I've kind of turned to come away from the shop floor, because I felt myself like welling up and I didn't want to cry on the salon floor, the front door swung open and in walked this lady, and her name was Sue. And she is still a client inside of my business now. She's the biggest asset my business has. And this lady had this white snowy bob and this perfectly placed side fringe and this beautiful expensive camel coat that literally touched the top of her Jimmy Choos. And she literally, I mean, she didn't sashay into the salon, but in my eyes she kind of just floated into the business like this hallelujah moment. I went up to the desk and booked like haircuts and colours for the next like 3 appointments. She booked weekly blow dries. She was talking about products. My jaw was on the floor and I thought, that's the lady I need to attract. If I got more of her in the business and less of the guys that are in here sat, and there was loads of people on chairs, but just nobody paying full price and nobody paying what we were worth. If I had more of Sue, this business would survive. And so I promised myself there and then, Sue is going to have those haircuts that she just booked. I am not going to lose this business, but I am going to study Sue, because in order to attract her, I need to understand her. So I stalked her for 12 weeks. Literally, I took her for lunch, I took her for dinner, I took her for breakfast, I took her out for wine. I just constantly was asking her questions, and I got to know her so well, probably better than she knows herself, that the whole business is mapped out for her. And so now inside Obsessions Salon, the way we make the coffee is for Sue, the music we play is for Sue, the way the team dress in the morning for Sue, and everything is all about Sue. So my biggest failing in my business turns out to be my biggest blessing and my biggest lesson, and that helped me grow.
Wow, how powerful is that? So you talk about the science of finding the right clients and having the business that you want to have. Is that come back to Sue?
Yeah, it all comes back to Sue. And it changes the culture in the business, because now you don't have a boss sort of, you can't play that music, you shouldn't dress like that. It's all about Sue at the end of the day. So, when the team say, Jen, the music is doing my freaking head in, can we change it? And let's honestly, hands up guys, all of you have this problem with your team, because they think the music's for them, don't they? And they're like, oh, the music's driving me up the wall, I've heard their same song 6 times, when it doesn't matter, because Sue's only been in here for an hour, she's only heard it once, and the music is for her. And so now it's like, yeah, sure, change the music. What would Sue like to listen to now? You can change it, but it's got to be what Sue wants. When you get dressed in the morning, make sure you're dressed for how Sue wants you to look, because otherwise she's not going to want to come and pay you to do her hair, because you're not setting that example. So by having that culture in the business, the team, they don't make mistakes, that marketing is always on point, because we're just talking to Sue, we're not talking to anybody else. If I went away and they decided to paint the salon a different colour or rejig the bathroom, I would never have a nightmare about it, because I know that they know Sue well enough that they would do a great job, because they would be designing whatever it is for her.
So all the clients that you attract within your salon are Sue's, because that's now your target audience, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's really, really good. I mean, what a massive learning curve that was.
It was, because it's also allowed us, because of the blueprint of our marketing now, we've local's no longer local. So you think when you're marketing on social media, or if you're doing an ad or whatever, you're thinking kind of your town, and then potentially the next 2, maybe 3 towns out is where you're going to get people from. We've got people that drive for over an hour and a half, the other side of Essex, to come into us. And we're like if I look out of my window now as I'm talking to you, on a very, very clear day, I can see France. I'm right at the very bottom of England. There is nowhere else to go. Once you hit us in Ramsgate, it's sea. You can't go anywhere. Then we're attracting people down an hour and a half plus to come and have their haircuts. So local is not local. It's expanded our reach, because when you talk directly to that one person, and you just care about her hearing your message, and the challenges and the pain problems and the BS, and that's the belief systems that she's running inside of her head, what she's saying to herself when she wakes up and looks at herself in the mirror, what she's saying to herself late at night when she's tired and cranky and menopausal, and she knows that in the morning she's got to walk into an office full of 20-year-olds in their super high heels and their beautiful hair and makeup. When you know that, and you understand that, and you start talking about that on social media, you're just attracting them constantly, because when they're reading that post, they're like, yeah, that's me, that I want some of that as well. And so marketing then becomes effortless, because it's all just to that one person.
Yes,
it's really powerful.
It makes it so much more simple, doesn't it, rather than what do I do now, what do I create now? If you're just focusing on that one person, it makes it so much easier. That's clever. I'm sure everyone listening to this is like, tick, twing in their head, like, oh, that's how easy it is.
Yeah, it really is.
You talk a lot about growing online presence, and would you say that's the area that you specialize in?
Absolutely, yeah. So when I'm coaching, it's all around that omni-channel presence. understanding who Sue is, but also understanding how she wants to consume your content. And, you know, some Sues want to watch something. So you need to be making sure you're doing lives and IGTVs and videos in stories and Facebook lives, and then moving through to maybe a video in emails, and really thinking about, you know, how can I give her something to watch? But then other Sues don't want to watch something. They want to read something. You know, they're done with listening. Maybe they're spending hours and hours on Clubhouse like you and I. They're done with that noise. They just want to sit down in peace and quiet and that tunnel vision and read. So you want to be giving them posts to read, and you want to be writing blogs for them to read, and you want to be creating in-salon magazines, because I know that Sue loves community, and allowing her into our community and talking about the community that we build in the local town is super, super important to her. So yeah, it's when you really start breaking it down, and that omni-channel presence, and understanding that they want to consume your content, but in so many more different ways than what you imagine, is really powerful.
And I think a lot of salon owners might find that overwhelming. Do you find that they're like, well, okay, I need to do all of this online presence, where do I start? There's all these social media platforms, there's email marketing. Do you think that you should focus on them all, or is there a handful you should focus on? Because some people be like, whoa, first of all, they're still in their chair working on the floor every single hour, and now they're having to be present on every single social media platform.
I know, it is a lot. It really is a lot. So what we tend to do is, I'm a real key player on automation, and I'm really, really keen to do a job once and never do it again. Okay. And so simple, tiny little hacks, like when you work through with me and we start breaking down your ideal client and her pains and her problems and her challenges, and writing out all the questions she would be asking you, you start to create a list. Okay. And I keep this list because I add to it like multiple times a day. I keep this on my desktop on my laptop. And this list, you know, you create over kind of 6 weeks, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things that you can be creating posts from. That list, then once you've done like 600-700, and trust me, sounds a lot, okay, but when we're working through this together, it's like light bulb, light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. I can write about that, I can write about that, I can write about that. Once you've got it down, now that list can be passed to any single one of your team members. And when they know the structure, like create a video like this, okay, pull the audio out, drop that into a podcast. Once you've done that, that video goes into the email nurturing system with the video on, so that we're creating something for them to watch. We then write a blog from that over onto the website. Now, we don't write that blog. When we're videoing, we've got Otter AI running in the background, who's capturing every single word and puts that into a nice, neat little document, literally types it out for you, so you don't have to. All you then need to do is go in and change any of the words that she's messed up, because she's not 100% perfect and she does get a couple of words wrong, and add in anything else. Now there's your blog. Now you're not sitting writing a whole blog. You know, when we're creating Instagram posts, I literally go on a rant on Otter AI, and then I just like take out bits, and that's my post. And it's understanding how to make things so easy and simple, and doing a task once and creating the whole omni-channel presence from that one thing that you do is super key to that.
Definitely. And it's something that I think I'm conquered now. We've got social media, a social media lady working on our platform, and she's employed by us. She's actually my apprentice, and she's smashing it. Like, she's doing so well. And I'm like, right, now you're spending time creating this. How is this then going to go into an email? How is that going to go into a podcast? How is that going to go into a blog? And she's incredible. Once she's done the main focus, everything else just channels from that, and you get so much more stuff done, and you'll be able to connect with so many more people. Because, you know, I always say to my salons, not everyone is on social media. You've got a handful of clients that are on social media. Then you've got them, like you said, some people like to watch, some people like to read. Then you've got them clients that want to read that email. You've got some people that want to go onto your website and read your blog, or some people that want to go onto YouTube and watch your channel. Like, there's so many different ways of being able to connect with people nowadays.
Yeah, 100%. but making it simple and easy. And if you have, for any salon owners out there listening, if you do have somebody else creating your social media, honestly, one evening, just go on a rant. Like, if you plan stuff out, so look at your dashboard, what's down, what do you want to grow? So if you're wanting to grow new clients, let's say, because that's the main thing that everybody wants right now, yeah, new clients. Okay, you're going to go on a 4-week massive sprint on growing new clients. And we really, and there's so many easy ways to do that. And most of the money is made in the DMs, okay? So if you've then got somebody else working on that for you, and you need to, let's look at creating the posts for those 4 weeks, okay? And you don't want to just leave it in the hands of somebody else, the girl that you've got working for you. You just spend 10-15 minutes talking through all the questions that a new guest would ask you, and then create posts around that. So then you're pre-handling all of the buy-in objections. Because if, like, how can I explain this really well? I was buying, so Sunday I took my kids out, and I just said, we're going to celebrate our wins. My kids have barely seen me through lockdown. I've been working one-to-one with hairdressing salons, like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for the whole 5 months. I nearly killed myself. But there were so many clients that needed that help from me, and I just couldn't say no to everybody because I had the answers and they needed them. So my kids have, like, truly missed me and had to literally fend for themselves for 5 months. And I needed to appreciate that. And I needed to show that appreciation. I also needed to pat myself on the back because I've worked so hard and I haven't had time to celebrate. So I said to the guys, we're going out on a massive shopping spree. There's no buying objections. Anything you want, as long as you're not being stupid and just buying stuff because you can have what you like. And, I bought myself a pair of Louboutin shoes. I bought myself a Gucci handbag. Like, we literally, whatever we wanted, we had. There was no buying objections. But that's very, very rare. Okay. Now, if I was going into Gucci on a normal day, no, not Gucci, let's say Louboutin, that's easier. If I was going into Louboutin on a normal average day, and there is buying objections, which there always would be because that's just the cycle of buying, I would be running around in my head, okay, there's a lot of money on shoes. They're expensive shoes. Do I really need them? Objection number 1. What colour, if I was going to buy a pair of shoes, what colour is going to go with the majority of my wardrobe? There's objection number 2. Well, it's going to be black, isn't it? Because I'm a hairdresser, so everything's black. So I would be like, okay, so really there's different styles in black and there's different fabrics in black, but I've got all of the fabrics, it's just a different style. And really there's not that many different styles in Louboutin shoes in black. So I'll be running buying objections. Now, if Louboutin were very, very clever and they know that their ideal client generally wears a black wardrobe, loves a black shoe, doesn't really go outside the black, they would be pre-handling my buying objections. They would be talking about celebrating your wins. They would be talking about treating yourself. They would be talking about jazzing up your boring black outfit with a pop of colour. And by pre-handling those objections, when I walk into that shop, I already know that I'm going to purchase a pop of colour this time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So by pre-handling your clients' buying objections, and of course it all goes back to Sue and understanding what her buying objections is, you need to get really, really clear. Creating the posts around that for 4 weeks means that you're going to gain so many more new clients just from that one action. And by literally talking that through on Otter, just recording yourself, talking it through, that then transcribes the whole time that you've been talking and puts that into a Word document, handing that over to the girl that's doing your social media. She can now create all of those posts for 4 weeks. Really easy.
It's just implementing it, isn't it? And just it's incredible what you can do, rather than going, oh, I haven't got the time to do this, I haven't got the time to do that. Like, there is ways to be able to create the time to be able to do everything.
Absolutely.
Definitely. What's been the highlight of your career so far?
Oh God, what has been the highlight of my career? I think I've had quite a few, actually. I coach for 365 Salon Education. That was a massive thing for me, because that helped me along my coaching. I'm an award-winning public speaker, so I then went on to the next level and learned how to publicly speak, and won some awards on that, which was really cool. Had to go head to head, oh my gosh, I literally had to go head to head in a competition, and they stream in, so it's worldwide. And they stream in through Dubai and everywhere, and there's this massive great big camera in your face and you're on stage. So you learn for 2 days a set one thing. So they'll be teaching you something about, let's say maybe it's like how to change your state if you're going to speak about something emotional and it's going to get you at the throat, and how to come out of that. And then you have to like go through like loads of rounds of doing it in front of loads of people, and then you get down to like the finals, the semi-finals, etc., etc. And I was in the finals head to head against my best friend. So it was like, oh my God, like I don't want to win, but I want to win, but I don't want to take it from her, but I bloody want it. Awful. And there's and one of the awards is sitting right behind me, and some of the other stuff, yeah, it just that's been great. Writing my book, I wrote a chapter in a book with 22 other business owners, but 2 of them are out of the book The Secret, which is a massive, that started the entrepreneurial journey. Well, not the entrepreneurial journey, it started my journey of self-healing and loving myself again, and my spiritual growth. So that was really, really cool. And I've just worked with some amazing people. It's just, I've loved every minute of it, even the lows.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything just rolls into one, and like I said, them lows make you into what you become, and give you your stories to be able to tell. But
absolutely, yeah.
If nothing bad happens or there's no lows, you can't learn. So then you've got no stories, then you can't motivate other people.
Yeah, and it's so important that you share them. I think, as you and I are both in that leadership role where we coach other salon owners and we coach them to become the person that they want to become. But if we don't share the crap that we've been through, it was a waste of time going through it, because by sharing it, it means it stops other people from going through that pain. And it also allows them to know that whatever lows they've been through, they've got to share it, pass that knowledge on. We don't just want to hear about, yay, I did this. The best learning comes from, oh my God, I screwed up, but this is how I put it right.
Exactly right. Exactly. It's so powerful, and a huge, huge learning curve for other people. If you could give one question, and then I'll let you go. If you could give salon owners 3 golden tips for success, what would it be?
So I would be lying if I didn't say join the Successful Salon Club, because my goodness, the stuff you learn in there is unreal. But aside from that, actionable tips for you guys, I'm going to give you 3 so that you can really start to unpack your business. So learning the identity of your business is so key. Why should I pay your hairdressing salon? Why should I pay you to cut my hair as opposed to the salon up the road? So often I work with salon owners that can't answer that question. Why should I pay you instead of the salon up the road? And if you can't answer that right now, I suggest you cancel the next thing that you're supposed to be doing and really get to work and start working on your business and really unpacking that for yourself. Because when you employ team and when you connect with clients, if they don't know who you are and what you do, and they don't understand, core values and beliefs, etc., and I'll talk about that in just a second, they don't know where that bus is going. And I guarantee none of you have ever gotten on a bus and not known where it's going. And if you ever did, you would at some point quite quickly get off, because you don't know how far you've got to go back. So bear that in mind. If you're not communicating that really, really efficiently with your team and with your clients, so that everybody's on the same hymn sheet, you're going to end up losing more than you attract. Then finding your Sue, obviously, you need to understand your ideal client, and you don't just need to understand her, you literally need to stalk her. You need to know everything about her so that you can take tiny little snippets of what she absolutely adores in her life and pull that into your business. Like, for instance, I know Sue is not a big drinker. So at Christmas, if we was to throw a massive Christmas party, that's for me, that's not for her. That's for, like, well, it wouldn't even be for me, because I'm not a massive drinker either. But it would be for my team. It wouldn't be for my ideal or any of my clients, really. That's a selfish thing to do. But I know Sue loves flowers. She loves plants. She loves anything like that. And I also know that the most important thing when she's purchasing is to shop locally. So the florist up the road, we hire in, and that evening, instead of having a party, we all make the wreaths. I make the one that goes on the salon door. She makes the ones that goes on her door. And we invite the top 30 guests, the top 30 Sues that spend the most money in the business. We ask them to bring an extra guest with them that doesn't already come to the salon. So now we're feeding in 30 guests into the business, non-salesy, that, oh my God, are blown away by what we're doing, have an amazing fun time with their friend, get to know us in a non-salesy way. And so in December, every time without fail, there's 30 new guests that just fall into the lap. So it's all those little things about really understanding who she is. And then your core values and beliefs, and that's your flag in the moon. So if you don't know your core values and beliefs, and you're not communicating them to your team will be communicating what they think your core values and beliefs are in your business. And if they don't align, they will be communicating something completely different to what you are. And now you've got mixed messages going out all over the shop that you've got no control of whatsoever. It also means that they don't know where the bus is going. So them staying inside the business is shortened because they don't understand the vision and the mission and the core values. And it's just, for them, it's show up, go to work, go home again. There's no life in that job and in that business. So that would be my 3 top tips.
Incredible. So those of you that are watching this in Coffee, Cake and Chat, those of you that are listening to this on The Life of KG, you all have homework to do after listening to this to do them top 3 tips. Jennifer, thank you so much. Like, you've given up your time. I'm really grateful. I know you're super busy. I've been dying to get you on the show for a while now. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was lovely to be here and chat with you. It really was. I see you popping up all over the place, and I've not had the opportunity to chat with you yet. So it's been really great chatting with you, Katie. Thank you.
Thank you. One last thing. Where can people find you if they want to connect?
Yeah, sure. So you've got 2 options. For those of you that just want to dip your toe in and learn some really cool stuff and don't want to commit to anything, there's my YouTube channel. There's loads of, it's literally just like a library of, every time I do a live video, I stream it live into YouTube, mainly so that I can just keep them documented, not on my laptop. But it's there for anyone that wants to go over and have a look. And there's loads of marketing stuff going on over there. Or you can drop me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. My Instagram handle is Jennifer Louise, but the L in Louise is a number 1, because somebody that doesn't even use her account has got Jennifer Louise and won't give it up or even answer my DMs saying, please sell me that, because it's my name and I want it. So just don't even bloody use it. It's annoying. But anyway, I am number 1 Jennifer Louise, clearly, because I've got the 1 in there. And if you want to drop me a DM, if you want to learn any more about the Successful Salon Club, I would love to have you in that group. We literally meet once a month and it's all marketing. And as you heard, I know a thing or 2 about marketing.
Wonderful. Thank you so, so much.
You're super welcome.
If you love this episode, please share and tag us on social media at KG Salon.
I always follow them.
If you're a salon owner and would like to join our membership program, Coffee, Cake, and Chat, get in touch for a space. Be around a like-minded tribe. Have 400 pounds worth of mentoring a month. And push yourself to the next level.
I love being a part of such a great community.
Until next time, have an amazing, successful week.